Hello, my name is Mr. Ishengoma, and today we are going to look at how to shade a Venn diagram. We have a number of examples. If you check properly, we are beginning with number 1. When you look at our question number 1, we have two sets. We have set A, which you can see a circle, and then we have set B, it's also a circle, and these two circles are entangled, so it creates 3 parts. Now, step 1, we are going to name each part. This part we shall call it number 1, the middle part number 2, and number 3. So after naming the parts, then we are going to use set notation. We are going to use set notation in order to understand which region we are supposed to shade. Now, look at our notation. Look at the first part here. This is telling us set A complement. And we very much know that A complement means everything outside of A. So when you look at the circle of A, everything which is outside of A is chamber number 3. So for the part of set A complement, we shall have only chamber number 3. Then let's look at here, set B. For the part of set B, we look at the circle of B. If you look at the circle of B, we have 2 chambers, chamber number 2 and also chamber number 3. After identifying A complement and B complement, now we turn our effort to the symbol in the middle. And when you look at this symbol, means union. And we know union means we combine the 2 solutions. This solution and this one, we put them into one. And if we put them into one, then we shall have 2 and 3, because this set A complement has 3, set B has 2 and 3. Now, if you combine the 2 in the term of union, because to unite is to combine the 2 sets together, we shall get 2 and 3. By using the set notation, this means we shall be required to shade set A, chamber 2 and chamber 3. This is how we can shade using set notation. So after knowing chamber 2 and 3, then we remove the number and we shade. This will be our answer for number 1. Now let's look at number 2. Basically, number 2 also has 3 chambers, 1, 2, and 3. If you look at the first part here, it also talks about a complement. And we already saw that a complement will be only chamber 3. And when you look at the second part, it's talking about B. And we already saw that set B has chamber number 2 and chamber number 3. But what is the difference between question number 1 and question number 2? The difference is the symbol in the middle. The previous question was union, but the current question number 2, it is intersection. Now, for intersection, that means we are going to look at the 2 sets and we see which items are in this first set and also they are in the second set. That is the one which is intersecting. To intersect is to be in all the sets. So we shall realize only 3 is intersecting. We have 3 in A and we have 3 in B. This means if we have 3 only that is intersecting, that means that is the only part we need to shade. So what we shall do is we remove the numbers and we shade part of chamber number 3. And that's how we shade the Venn diagrams. Now let's look at number 3. When you look at number 3, there is an addition here of the universal. The box, this box here is representing the universal. And we know that universal is just like a classroom where all members are present, even if they are selected for any set or even if they are not selected, but they are available. So that is the universal set. Now, when you look at the two, number 3 also has 3 chambers for set A and for set B. We shall have 1, 2, 3. But because of the addition of the universal, that means outside of A and B, we have now chamber number 4. So now we have 4 chambers. Now in this case, again, we are going to use set notation. For A, we know basically A will have chamber 1 and chamber 2 because circle of A is there, chamber 1 and chamber 2. Then when you talk about B complement, that means outside of set B, and we have chamber 1 and chamber 4 outside of set B, because inside of set B, we have chamber 2 and chamber 3. So outside of set B, we shall have chamber 1 and chamber 4. After knowing the chambers for A and after knowing the chambers for B complement, then we need to know those 2 sets. How are they going to be united? Because we know the symbol in the middle is uniting, and to unite is to keep them together. Now, when you look at set of A and when you look at set of B complement, if you unite them, if you put all them together, we shall have 1, 2, and 4, because those are the ones which are in set A and set B complement. That means if this is the union, this one here, if this is the union, automatically this is where we are going to shade. So we are going to shade chamber 1, we are going to shade chamber 2, and we are going to shade chamber 4. So basically we shall shade chamber 4 is the outside, and chamber 1 and 2 is inside of set A. So this would be our shading. So basically this is how we shade Venn diagrams that involve the universal set. The only part which is not shaded is number 3 because we don't have 3 here. So the region for 3 will remain empty. Now we go to question number 4. Also, question number 4 has 4 chambers like that. We have A, B complement, and the difference now is the intersection. So we already saw A would take on region 1 and 2. B complement, which means outside of set B, will take 1 and region 4. But now here, we don't want to unite. Instead, we want the intersection. And we say the intersection is the chamber which is appearing on both of the sets. And if you check, A has 1 and 2, B complement has 1 and 4. So basically, chamber 1 is repeating, and that will be the intersection, meaning we will be now shading only chamber 1, and the rest of the chambers will remain unshaded. So that's how we shade regions that have universal. Now, for number 5 and number 6, we are bringing in a third set. So we shall have 3 circles involving 3 sets. But when you look at number 5, it does not have the universal. And when you look at number 6, it has the universal. So let's look at number 5 first. When you have got 3 sets and there is no brackets, very simple. It means deal with the first 2, the final answer you get, you will now compare with the last part. So let's first deal with the first two. But before we could deal with the first two, we need to give each chamber a number. So I start from here. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. So we have got 7 chambers if we have got 3 sets, and they're all entangling. Now, we very much know set A will take chamber 1, 2, 4, and 5. That is the circle of A. And then set B will take chamber 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now, for the first part, that is A union B. That means we need to unite the 2 sets. We need to combine these 2 sets into one. Now, when we combine the 2 sets, we shall get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this will be the union. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have united A and B. And this gives us the answer for the first part. This first part here. So this answer, we need to compare it with set C. And as we see, set C will be 4, 5, 6, and 7. That is set C. So the answer we got here, we need to compare it with set C. But what symbol is between? What symbol is between the intersection? If the middle is the intersection, so we need to look at the answer of A union B, and we look at the answer of C, and we take the part which is appearing on both sets. So the intersecting part will be 4, because 4 is on both parts, 5, and 6. So these are the only parts which are intersecting from the answer of here and the answer of there. This means for this question, we are going to shade chamber number 4, chamber number 5, and chamber number 6. Where are these chambers? Here. I'm erasing them. Chamber number 4, I've erased it. Chamber number 5, and also I'm erasing chamber number 6. Those are the parts which we need to shade. And you can shade in different ways, but I have chosen to use lines. So that is the 3 parts we shall shade. And finally, the other part will be remaining empty. So if we have got 3 sets together, there is no bracket, meaning you first work out the first 2, and then you compare it with the last one. Now let's look at number 6, which has now the universal. So this will add us another chamber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which is representing the universal. Very good. Now let's go at our set notation. In this case, we have brackets. So clearly, because we have bracket, so we have to deal with the problem of the bracket. But we already saw A union B in the previous question. And we know A union B means the whole of A and the whole of B all together. So A union B, if we check properly, we have chamber 1, chamber 2, chamber 3, chamber 4, chamber 5, and chamber 6. That is A union B. But look closely at our question. Our question does not want A union B. Our question wants the complement. Complement, that means we need outside. We need outside of this. And if we need outside of this, that means we only need 7 and 8, because those are the ones which are left outside. So this now is the first part. Then we need to find set C. And we can tell set C will be 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we need to compare the 2. But now, what symbol is between the 2 solutions? Is the union. And we know if the union is the symbol, meaning we need to combine the 2 together. So 7 and 8, and for set C, we need to put them together and we get the union. And our union will be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This means if this is the union, this is where we are supposed to shade. So let me erase the chambers which we are supposed to shade so that we can shade them. Number 4 need to be shaded. Number 5 need to be shaded. Number 6, number 7, and number 8. So we need to shade all those regions. This tells us that we are not going to shade number 1, number 2, and number 3. So we are going to shade only the rest except 1, 2, and 3. So this is how we shade the Venn diagrams that are involving 3 sets. Yes, and then we erase the numbers. Why? Because the numbers are not part of the answer. Instead, these numbers are part of working that helps us to know which region. So after it has helped you to know, you can get rid of the numbers. Okay, last but not least, we have got question number 7. Also, it involves 3 sets. There is no universal, and if you look properly, the entangling is different. So here we can have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 chambers for this set. And when you look at the question doesn't have brackets. That means we need to deal with the first 2. When we get the answer, we shall compare it with B. Right. So we get A. And okay, we can get this together, A union C. So A union C means all the members which are in A and all the members which are in C, and that is 1, 2, 4, and 5. So this is the union of A and C. All the members in A together with all the members of C. So this is the answer of the union. Now, what are the members which are in B? That is 2, 3, and 4. Yes. Then let's look at the symbol. What is the symbol between the 2? The symbol between the 2 is intersection. So we need to know A union C, this one, which chambers are intersecting with B. And we would see the chambers intersecting is 2 and 4. That means we only need to shade the chamber 2 and the chamber 4. So I'm erasing chamber 2 and 4 so that I can shade. There we go. So I shade chamber 2 and also I shade chamber 4. And basically, I get rid of the other numbers because I don't need them. So this is how we shade Venn diagrams using set notations as we have seen. Thank you so much for enjoying the video. Stay awake, subscribe to my channel for more new and interesting videos. My name is Mr. Ishengoma.